Good morning, Wendy Antonucci here for Cocoa Daisy, and I am using the September kit. Today, or this month, what I really wanted to focus on was the amazing papers that came. I just loved them. Now, we live in Florida. We don't have fall. Well, if we're lucky, we might have it in January, but we don't have fall. So it's kind of odd with all the fall colors, but my friend and fellow design team member Susanna challenged me to find other ways to use the product. So I pulled out all my pictures and found that I have a ton to go on. I have the whole bed full of pictures that I'm going to create with. But how do I pair them with these papers? So one of the first papers that I discovered was this one. Now on the other side is this. I love this. I love this color. I love the design, but warm tea, big sweaters, rainy days, none of that is us at all. So I still want to use it, but how do I use it? Well, I can cover it up with one of the Project Life cards. I could cut out elements and just layer them until, you can kind of see it, but it's not a big deal. I could use die cuts or using some of the cut files and cover it so that it's not a big deal. So that's one way to use the paper. But on the other side are these amazing mushrooms, and I thought they were wonderful. We do have the 6x6 paper with it, so I did not cut into this because I'm going to use this somehow. But I cut into this. So one of the things that I'm focusing on in this kit is fussy cutting. All those mushrooms, just cut them out. They work wonderful. Even these, you can tuck them under things, and this can go like at the top peeking out. Here's another piece. I just love these flowers. I'm not going to use this whole paper unless I was going to use it as a mat, but I don't want to lose all these flowers. So I'm going to cut these out and use them on a layout, and I'll show you where in just a few minutes. This paper is wonderful too, but I think I like the flowers more than I like the chance to use a nice background paper. So I'm going to be cutting those out, and I'll show you where in a minute. This one, I can't use this. I mean, I'm just not into big designs, but this, if I was to cut this out and layer a picture in there and put it on a quieter background for me, I think that would be perfect. And I'm looking at it with the page I'm going to show you now, but I think it's too big for all the pictures I want to get in. But again, it has an amazing background. But these flowers are calling to me, so I'll probably end up fussy cutting those also. And then this leaf paper. This I love, but I can use that in a much smaller, like 3x4 size or 4x6, which are my favorite to use. So I began cutting out those leaves, and here's two of them, or a few of them that are left over so far. These are amazing. Here, yes, you could use this page, but again, we don't have leaves falling in Florida. So I'm cutting them out and focusing on the amazing colors and using them to layer on my pages. And then this paper. Again, we don't have these kind of trees. We don't do outside things. We sweat. So I've been cutting out these tree pieces. I have a son that's born in October, so I used it on his page. It fits October, even though it doesn't fit our actual seasons. I'm doing a page now about my daughter going to camp. This will work amazingly well for that. This again I like, but this one for me I can use in a smaller piece. Now, did you see these papers by this Renke? I have never heard of them. They're very different than what I would normally pick, but I love that they are almost white. There's not a lot of color going on, not a lot of commotion, but there is plenty of design to keep your eyes on this. So this is where I decided to start, because I was like, how am I going to use this? And I could look at the words and try to, I need something that fits in that line. Or I could just say, I just love these colors. I love the little tree, flower designs, and I'm just going to run with it. So the first thing I do when I work on a page is I pick my pictures. And if you've seen some of my other videos, I showed you how I matched up my pictures with my paper, and I could have a few of them out on the bed, not as many this time. So I decided that these pictures from my daughter at camp this year would work wonders. No, it wasn't fall time, but it was, we were up north, so we were experiencing trees and grass and cooler weather for us. So I thought this would look really great. My next thing and this is what I call a photo block. This to me is the main part of my page. Nothing else really matters. As long as you get your picture and your story down, you have scrapbooked. You have told what is important. Now, if we want to step it up a little bit, my next thing I go to are the Project Life cards. This one was actually the September 4x6, but I really like the September piece and I really like this, so I just cut it off. Yes, I lost some of the A, but we'll live. And I thought that worked really well with the You and Me and all of her friends she made at camp. See? You have a page. Add a title, add some documentation, and you've already scrapbooked. That took a matter of minutes, and it is still something that can go in their books, and you're playing with paper, and so if, like me, it's your therapy, you have some therapy already. Now, how do I want to take this farther? What am I going to do with these papers to bring life to this one? Well, remember those leaves I had already cut out? These are from something else, and yeah, they're missing, it was at the edge of a page and such, but I just tuck them under. No, there were not leaves going on there, but there are more leaves that we see, so look, it already, see the color is coming in? I can add this one here. I'll probably cut off a little bit of it, and now I have to cut out a few more. It will take a while, yes, it is a little bit time consuming, but not that much. So some of these right there and layer them here. See how the colors are warm and with the wooden look, it just goes. All right, now I saw this little guy and I really like this. I'm thinking I want him here somewhere, but I don't like how far down he comes. So I can't decide if I'm going to cut the card or if I want to cut him out, maybe in a circle. I'm thinking maybe a circle, because if I just cut out the little fox, he would blend into that leaf there and he might get lost. And I think he looks so cute because of being on that dark paper. So I'm thinking a circle might be nice, a nice big circle. It'll probably run over a little bit and then put it right there in that corner. So that's another thing I like. I'm going to be adding in some of these. I'll just cut them out, just a circle, it doesn't matter how close, and then tuck them under. Now, I was considering this piece like I mentioned, but see how it's so big? I thought it would look neat right here, but it's going to cover up my pictures, and I think it's actually taking me in the wrong direction of the color scheme I'm going with, because this is more pinkish, this is more the orange that I'm focusing on, especially with this paper. So I don't think this one's going to make it in on this page. Then look at these flowers. Won't they add, they'll add to the wooden look. They can be layered, or because they're not as chopped up as the leaves, I can put them right on top. So that's where I'm going to head next with that. I'm going to add some fussy cut elements, but I know that there's quite a few designs in the die cut package we got from Simple Stories that would work really well. See, like there, happy together. All I like to do, as I've mentioned before, is I just like to page through the little bits and pieces and see if things would work or add to my story. This would work, and I think it would look really nice up there. So you can just see all the bits and pieces. There's really, I could add most all of these in, even though they are a thankful and a Thanksgiving kind of theme. It works well, although I keep trying to use this and I'm not getting it yet. I've tried it on 2 layouts now. That would look cute too. And if I added in a circular element, then I'd have another circular element. So I'm thinking that might get in there somewhere. I'm not feeling the birds because I want to get him in. Trees would be a good thing. But again, see how, like, if I add this tree in, it almost conflicts with this. It works, but it's not the same kind of, it doesn't give me the same feel. So I don't think, even though this would work with my story, I don't think it's going to work on this page. So I just go through and look for different elements. You know, suitcase would work because they're away, or a house, but doesn't really add to the story I'm going for. So happy together, that would be good. You're bringing in the pink because these are a bunch of girls. And actually, right there would be, it's kind of different because you're pulling it up, but remember, this is going to be a circle, so I almost have like a diagonal coming off. So I have my photo block, but then it's almost like I'm pulling it in a diagonal. So that's how I'm going to go about this page, and I know my daughter really felt blessed to be able to go to this, but I'm not sure that's going to fit in. I love these little pieces because I'm always cutting them off. I never use the whole thing. Everything in my mind should be cut apart because then you can use it some more. Now these would be really good, especially if I have some of these more wooden looking flowers, maybe underneath. So I'm going to probably bring in some of those. So there you can see, yes, I have to finish cutting out and such, but right now already there is a layout, and that took a matter of minutes to put together. For me, as soon as you pick your pictures and get your paper, you really have the bulk of your layout done. Add in a title card or somewhere to, a sentiment or something, and you've really told your story. You could go and paint on this, you could go and sew on it, you could go and add all kinds of things, but I just don't have that kind of time, and I want to really enjoy my scrapbooking. I don't want to be tied down into making every single page I do a huge masterpiece. I'm going to show you one more layout I did, and you can see how I followed the same steps. So 1 minute. Alrighty, and I am back. So the first thing I was going to show you is this. I've picked out these papers. I'm focusing on my brother and my little boy and their dirt bike. I seem to remember he was big into, there was some sort of fox thing with this racing. I don't know. And so when I saw this fox paper, I thought, oh, that would look so cute on there. So I really like this, but see how there's not enough color. Like you have the red bike, or orange bike, or dirty bike, whatever it is. But there's not enough color on this paper. That's when I found this orange paper. And I thought maybe if I put, kind of scoot this over and have a little strip of orange on there. See how that works? And then I also, now this was before I found this paper. Because at first I thought I could go maybe just on the orange paper and add these little foxes on, like the top, just kind of do a border of these foxes. And I was thinking of cutting a 4x6 piece of this to kind of stick up over or around it. But anyway, so there's some of the pictures that I'm focusing on with these papers. It hasn't come together yet, but it will soon. So that's one I'm looking at. And here's another one that I put together. Now I've already done this one, but you can see I began with my photos. I picked a background paper that wouldn't distract from what was going on here. It didn't look bad. Do the colors really work? They work fine. It might not be your first choice, but it works good. Because of the flames on his shirt, I was kind of able to bring in the orange look. Like I said, this is the son that was born in October. I have no reason to use this card except that he's in October. I thought that was really cool. So I'm so glad I live in a world where there are Octobers. And then I added a tag and said, and you. So right here, I've got my photo block, I've got my Project Life card, and I've got a title. Right there, I've built my layout. You can see the basis of my layout. From there, I added in some wood pieces to give it more an October feel, some leaves, some of those mushrooms that I fussy cut out, a little bit of splash of color, some tags to enforce what we were doing. And then I kind of made a mistake and I built the layout too far down on my page. I don't know why, but I did. I stuck it down and I was so concerned about lining up the picture that, yeah, it was at the bottom. So what do? There was this blank space. So the first thing I tried were some of the cloud files from, I don't remember which kit, but I tried that. I liked it. It filled up that space, but it was too white, and this isn't outside at all. This is all inside, so I took that away. And I was really debating, what do I do to fill up this page? I tried some leaves, but it just didn't fit what was going on again because it wasn't outside. So I brought in some of those sequins. They just added, again, see how I like to work in a diagonal? It added a little bit of stuff, a little bit of filler so it didn't feel empty. You can see it's heavy down here, but this balanced that out, and then this helped add to it. The washi tape added a little bit more, again, without adding anything that was too heavy. All right. So that's how I am using the papers. I'm just trimming things out. I love the colors though. I love the designs. It's just if it's too much for you, if you're not that kind of scrapper, cut everything out. Make a new page with the bits and pieces that you do love. Thanks for joining me this month. I will be back again next month with the October kit. How could we already be to that point? Life is flying by, and I will show you this finished layout as soon as I finish fussy cutting all the leaves. Have a great day. Bye.